G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, today I'm going to have a look at Rich, Mr. Thrive and Survive. Oh dear Rich, what have you done, mate?
I can't let this go. I just can't do it. It's so bad. And you're going to want to stick around to the end of this because I'm going to cover what you're looking at right now at the end. And you're not going to believe your eyes if you haven't seen this. I'm actually starting to believe that this is a test of the people of the earth to see how gullible they are, how much BS they can throw out there and not have any kind of blowback from people that look at this and say, oh, isn't that just so wonderful? They're cheering on the ground. And as they said when they were going off at mission control, wearing their masks, socially distanced, I guess they didn't need all those controllers after all. There was only a handful compared to normal. But anyway, let's get into it.
Oh, this is where Rich plays for his audience. You just listen to the words that he's using and the tone and the types of things that he's talking about. These are just to, play to his gullible audience.
In case you don't know what we're looking at the Falcon launch, supposedly, with 2 astronauts in it, going into space and going to meet up with the ISS. Well, I'm going to be doing an ISS video too soon to show how that's impossible.
Oh, Rich has got an ISS video coming. That's going to be fun. I can hardly wait, Rich. Oh, and you better have a look at my video, links in the description, all about how the ISS is totally real. Might help you put your video together.
But let's take a look at what the astronauts see on the left. They have a cartoon Earth to look at. A cartoon Earth.
Cartoon Earth? You mean a graphic? Come on, it's just the display. You don't need to have a real screen. You can use a graphic. Make it simple.
I've been saying forever, wouldn't it be so cool to have a continuous shot?
So hold on a second there, Rich. You're telling me you want to see a video of a booster of a launch going from launch pad to space and back to landing? Well, you suck at research. Have you not found Red's Rhetorics yet? It's gone 1 million views and more. Here, look, the link is in the description. I won't play it now. You go and have a look and you'll find everything you want right there, mate.
And I think it's about 2 minutes, 30 seconds into this, somewhere like that. The thing is already horizontal. Not going into space, it's horizontal. Doesn't take long. SSDD, if you know what that means. Yeah, most of you know what that means.
Horizontal rocket, Rich? Oh, come on. Even you don't believe that. You even mentioned a little later that it now doesn't look horizontal. I'll tell you what you didn't do, though, and what I did do. Sorry, Dim Dim, that's your line. Is you didn't compare different rocket angles. And look, I've got one I did before for Dim Dim. And this is exactly the same rocket from 4 different viewpoints. And in one of them it looks like it's going down. And that's what flatties want to jump on, but they don't look at the other images, do they? But having said all that, Rich, of course rockets don't go straight up. They do turn and curve over. So if you have a look at this lovely piece of data I found, this excellent tweet, he's got all the flight data. And I'll show you the first part here, which is the altitude versus range, downrange. So you see by the time the rockets reach SECO, second engine cutoff, it's pretty much flying horizontal. And this graph also shows you beautifully the accelerations as the rocket climbs through the atmosphere. How? How is the rocket getting faster the higher it's going? Well, it's a little thing called F equals ma. You might have heard of it. Or maybe you're not a rocket science student, are you? The thing is, the force being generated, as in the thrust by the engines, is staying pretty much the same. They've just got their pedal to the metal, max power. But as the fuel is being burned, m, the little m, is getting smaller. And remember, a Falcon 9, about 90% of its weight is fuel. So it's going to burn nearly all its weight by the time it gets to the end of its run. So that means if F this is the same and m is getting smaller, A has to be getting bigger. And remember, A is acceleration. And top marks to you, Rich, for even noticing that. And for all of those of you who say now that these rockets are in the vacuum of space and shouldn't be working, rockets do not push off of air. They actually push off their exhaust. Kind of simple when you think of it like that. All these people who say rockets don't push off of air, they're almost right. But they do push off the exhaust. So easy, isn't it?
And not only are they going more horizontal, but the altitude is actually going up faster. So how is that possible? Maybe it is. Maybe I don't understand the physics of space. That's what people will say. I guess I don't.
Yeah, Rich, we get it. You don't know. You seem to not know anything about anything. I am beginning to wonder why you keep trying to say something. Or is this just your get out of jail free card? But I guess the test will come when someone who knows a little bit more about the subject tells you what it is and you go, you know what, you're right, Wally. Well, maybe that last bit.
Now, take a look at this shaking of the bag, whatever it is. Aluminum foil. Why is it doing that in the void of space? There are 106, 107, 108 nautical miles into space. Should be no atmosphere.
Shaking foil, mate. Well, just because it's got a £1 million rocket pushing in the back of that thing, it's going to shake the whole stage 2 gets a bit of a vibration going. Doesn't matter whether there's air or not. And at the start, it's only 100 kilometres up, so there's still probably a little bit of atmosphere around the place. Not a lot. But what you didn't do, that I did do, is go and have a look for when the second engine cuts off. And you'll see that suddenly everything is very still. The rocket is still travelling very, very fast at this stage, isn't it, Rich? So that would seem to indicate that it is primarily coming from the rocket thrust.
When we want to see this thing land on the ship, here we go. It's coming down. It's going to splash down soon. And I've already noticed that there's some issues with the clouds after this thing lands, but I'm not going to get into that. Oh, what? Let me pause it. Of course I still love you. Loss of signal. The ship-to-shore satellite video connection has been lost. Video should automatically resume when the connection is restored. Yeah, when the fakeness is put back in. Unbelievable. If you can't tell that that's fake, I don't know, but what do I know about TV? I'm not a TV technician. Let's continue. Suddenly we're not on the ship anymore, but we will be. There it is! It landed! There's absolutely no sign of fire. No burn, nothing.
So this is the Bulgarisat 1 booster, and I hope I said that right. Okay, so Rich is looking at this as the original footage, and he sees the water spraying. Then we see nothing. Then we see success, and all of these slatties say that's fake. But what about if someone had a proper recording of what actually happened, like from the camera, but not one that was sent over the satellite, just the SD card from the camera? And what if that person was able to provide that? Let's have a look. Oh, so what do we see here? Oh, I see, Richie. Oh, Richie, I see fire. Another whoopsie. 11:53. Whoopsies, I see fire, Richie.
And here's something I don't understand. With these things going up and down. Why are they going up and down? Is gravity there or it's not there? And they both go up and down at a little bit different rate. So how come if there's microgravity affecting one, it's a little delayed from affecting the other?
Well, in zero gravity, Rich can't seem to understand that which part of no gravity is affecting the straps. I guess when there's nothing to affect it, the straps can now move independently, Rich. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a gravity expert, so maybe I got nothing there. I mean, that thing went through fire going up, a lot of fire going up, and coming down. And yet there wasn't a scratch of not even a hint of darkening of smoke even on the paint.
Oh, and Rich, I think you might have also had a problem with flames and soot coming back through re-entry. And Rich, and just in case you didn't see these images today, the booster, when it came back into town, she was a little bit dirty. What a dirty boy. I think you better have a look at that too. So obviously there was a whole pile of soot and stuff pumping up the side of this thing, and the only bits that stayed white were the bits that were covered by the legs. So Rich, it would seem that NASA has indeed become a dirty word. Just from all that rocket exhaust, mate. So I'm handing Rich into the ravenous clutches of one huge jars. Get him between your cheeks, you.
Flurf, give me flurf. I'm hungry to chew up some stupid. Thanks, Wal. I'm really shaking my head at this one. It made my brain sad.
There are 2 times in this video that you can see objects moving about the rocket engine on the launch footage. Rich seems to just pass over the first one, but let's have a look.
Watch the specks over here. Gotta wait for the camera. See how the Earth is getting flat? Flatter and flatter. It's getting ready to go concave on us. All right, here we go. I think this is about it. Oh, yeah, look at that. It is not coming from the direction of the rocket. Can you believe this?
So Rich's entire video is all argument from incredulity. He presented 0 evidence, no measurements, and based everything on his emotional reaction, which in turn was based on what he wanted to see. He saw that those flecks did not appear to come from the direction of the rocket, and so in his mind he must be right. But his inability to understand and comprehend everything that's going on is not proof that it's fake. I don't know exactly what they were, but knowing a bit more than Rich apparently does, I can make an intelligent hypothesis that's far more likely than it's fake. All rockets have thrusters to help guide them, and any liquid fuel rocket like this one uses compressed gas, which by its nature is quite cold, and because of that, ice from the humidity of the surrounding air at the launch site forms on the hull of the rocket. Most of that simply breaks off soon after liftoff due to the motion of the rocket's internal vibrations, and the air pressure against the rocket's hull. But little bits will be there throughout the flight. Perhaps a thruster was fired at that time to steer the rocket, and a piece of ice was near the thruster port. That would push the ice out from the rocket, and when it came close to the rocket exhaust, the various pressures created by that exhaust would draw it back towards the path of the rocket into the flow of the exhaust, making it appear as if it came from a different direction. Alternatively, because we're looking at it from an angle, who's to say it's not just perspective? Which I feel dirty for saying. I mean, if flirts can use it as a catch-all excuse, sane people can too, right? Both explanations are far more credible than a multi-trillion-dollar conspiracy lasting over 50 years involving millions of people, which doesn't seem to be ever revealed to anyone. Now in this footage, we see 2 white things apparently move out of the mylar and hit the top of the engine. The little one falls off into space, while the other one seems to get caught, then melt somewhat, as you'd expect when it's touching a surface so close to the rocket exhaust. Clearly, that's not a mouse. It's not even animal-shaped, and that wasn't a baby mouse that jumped to its death. It's most likely either some ice crystals, or perhaps a piece of insulation that's come loose somehow. Either way, unless you see ears, whiskers, a tail, and some cheese, then it's a bit of a leap to say it was an actual mouse. For the second apparent mouse, Rich pays more attention. Let's have a look.
2 seconds, but I want you to know where to look. Alrighty? I want you to look in here. Tell me if you see anything interesting whatsoever. Ready? It'll come in 2 seconds. Oh, there it was. Sorry. They do switch the camera. I forgot about that. So let's go back. Watch right here. And then after this, I will blow it up again. Come on. Switch the camera. I don't know why they have to keep switching cameras one side to the other, but there it was. Again, if I caught this watching it live, basically, the first time, this has just got to be stuff that they're putting in there to see how gullible the people are. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to watch it much slower, and I'm also going to zoom it up. So let me change the playback speed to 1/4, and I'm going to go to 1032 if I can get there. This is, by the way, I'll put a link for this. This is the Fox News feed of this, and it happens at about 10:32, 10:33. So here we go. There it goes. Here it comes. Wait for it. There it was! Ha ha! Mighty Mouse. They have a mouse. A mouse. He can survive the vacuum of space, so he's Mighty Mouse.
Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
boys and girls, here we go.
This is clearly a different object from the first mouse that we saw before. If this is somehow a Capricorn 1 style fake, NASA really need to get the exterminators in. The set is overrun with rodents.
Actually, I don't think you really need to see it again. And it's probably not really a mouse, of course, but it does look like one.
It looks like one? This looks like a mouse? I think what you say a little later is more appropriate for this point in time.
Am I mentally deluding myself?
As if to prove the point, he continues.
Maybe it is. Whatever it is, has been sitting here the whole time. Then all of a sudden it flies off. See that? And goes right into the engine. So it gets sucked into the engine. Correct?
Well, no, there's no evidence that it was actually sucked in. It just seems to move under the lip of that ring part of the engine there.
So let me ask you this question. If it's just some piece of trash, which obviously this whole Jiffy Pop thing is, breaks off and goes in there, why is it sucked in? We're in the vacuum of space. Why is it sucked into the engine? The engine can't be sucking anything in. There's no air to suck in, which is another reason why this thing doesn't work. But it's just a question to ask. Why is it sucked into the engine?
It's always good to ask questions, but don't waste everyone's time with stupid questions. It's a rocket engine. It's not a jet engine. It doesn't suck in anything in any way. It's pumping out stuff from its propellant. You're assuming that it was sucked in. All it was doing was moving in accordance with the forces upon it, like everything else in the universe.
So maybe I've got it wrong. Or maybe we're just spending trillions of dollars over all the years, billions each year, on BS like this that gives us absolutely nothing, gives humanity nothing, except for when they were, I didn't finish the thought at the beginning of this video, when they said, and the fantasy continues. I think that's how he put it.
Yes. It's all a conspiracy. I think with that, I'll turn it back to Wal.
Well, thanks so very much, Hugh. That was absolutely brilliant. I might call on you again. Stop press, Hugh. I found this bit of information just now. I did not know exactly what was causing the frozen oxygen on the back of the engine, but apparently there's a vent port just at the top there. You can see it's white. Sprays out liquid oxygen, which pretty much instantly freezes and turns straight into solid oxygen, which now slides around all over the engine bell. And you can see in some spots where it straight away evaporates and disappears again. Well, that's almost enough of poking Rich, but as Rich likes to do, he likes to leave the best for last, and I might just do that too. Now, this is not an actual space image, but it is definitely related, and a big thanks to Kyle Montgomery's excellent Twitter feed. Because what do we see here, Rich? We see a booster that's coming back on a barge. Oh, and Rich, if you've got free fluids in your mouth, I think you better take them out right about now. Swallow that cup of tea, because when you look at this, it might go everywhere. So it seems like Kyle Montgomery been stalking the booster all day, waiting for it to come back to port. And she got this fantastic image. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I wanted to show you. It was this one. Oh dear, Rich, what do you think of that? Something's missing. I think it's your whole flat earth theory's missing, mate. Well, you know what we all think of that. What are you going to think of it? I await your response, Rich. Have a good day.
At some point, you have to ask yourself the question, I would think, am I mentally deluding myself? So you can dismiss the cartoon Earth that the astronauts are looking at. You can dismiss the fact that they went horizontal before 2 minutes was up. You can dismiss the fact that all of a sudden there's a satellite loss when this rocket is supposed to land on the boat. And you can dismiss the fact that they've got the world's best tempered paint. And you can dismiss the gravity anomalies.